Most people getting to 25 pounds will change their life forever. Getting to 50 pounds will alter their skeleton, the way they breathe, the way they move forever. It will change the way that they do all sports. Getting up into the 80-pound range is just pushing it further and further and further. Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to open up 2 monster clubs from Great Lakes Gira. These clubs are called monster clubs because they are in the monster category. This should be a 34 and this should be a 38. These are clubs that I've been working on with Great Lakes Gira. They're the Mark Wildman edition of these monster clubs. The knife we're going to use to open these clubs is a Spyderco Bushcraft. It's not a cheap knife, but it is a very, very good knife. I think it's 01 steel. Yeah, it's 01. Think of heavy club swinging like Olympic lifting. It is not a quick path of study. It is usually years of athletic training stacked up. So if you do Olympic lifting, most guys will spend years doing it, like 8 years. You can get fairly good and get a lot of benefit in a short period of time from just having a really good program and a good coach. Heavy club swinging is usually a little bit harder for people because the equipment up until recently has not been available. Barbells are in every gym. Even if they don't really have an Olympic lifting platform, you can work on your basics and get through the beginning of your training. Oh yeah. Always put your knife away. Ooh, this is gonna be big. Oh yeah. There we go. So this should be the Wildman Athletica. It should say on the bottom what it is. 34K. Is this thing gonna destroy my toolbox? It's the real question. Let's hope not. Most people start at, say, 15 pounds because most people are not used to dealing with torsion, triplanar movement. People are very good at lifting weights in straight lines, but developing throwing patterns with really heavy weights is not something that's done in gyms, in modern gyms. It is something that has been done everywhere in the world for all of human history, but we don't do it much in the, let's call it the modern Western world in the last 100 years or so. Oof. There we go. Oh, this is a monster. This is our Wildman Athletica 38 kilogram. They're also marked on the bottom. When you think about heavy club swinging, think start at 15 pounds, 15, 20 pounds, think about that as white belt. If you want to use a martial arts analogy, think about 25, 30 blue belt. Think about by the time you get to two-handed 50-pound club swinging, not 3 sets of 3, we're talking 15 minutes under load. That's your brown belt level, and then getting above 50 pounds for most people, think about it as a black belt. The goal that I'm working towards right now is getting to a 100-pound shield cast, 20 sets of 5. The goal of that is to turn the 80-pound club into our 80%. Let's think about it like Olympic lifting, but think about it as endurance weightlifting. So not 3 sets of 3, we're not setting a 1 rep max. If we had a 1 rep max in barbell, then 80% would be a 3 rep max. We're trying to take 100 pounds and do 20 sets of 5 so we can turn our 80 pound into something that we are likely to be able to endure with for time under tension training, which means 30 seconds of work for multiple exercises stacked up in a row. Treat heavy club swinging like Olympic lifting. In order to get to your target exercise in Olympic lifting, let's call it a clean and jerk, you would practice all the breakdowns. You'd practice squats, cleans, but think about rotating versions of those. And instead of a jerk, think about our jerk becoming a two-handed heavy club shield cast. The oldest and best exercise in human history. Ooh. So we have 3 of the old style Great Lakes Gira clubs. This will be the 32, the 36, and this is the 40, which should be 88 pounds. And we are filling in the 38, and we are filling in the 34. The more steps you have, the more likely you are to succeed in training. That's the reason Olympic lifting is very good for developing strength, is because you can micro load a barbell. The problem with heavy clubs has always been big jumps in weight, otherwise you need more equipment. So we had a 32, a 36, and a 40, but I have a lot of very severe injuries from years of doing, stupid fun stuff. So I want to add in additional weights so I can repeat cycles, so I can get better and give my body more time to adapt with a smaller jump in weight. Pretty standard. It's exactly what you do in every type of weightlifting. Going from 32 to 36, not too bad. Jumping up here to the 40, I'm having my old injuries flare up. I have a really, really bad leg injury, one of the worst ones you can have. I had a complete disruption of my PCL, totally gone. Complete disruption of my LCL, totally gone. Popliteus tendon, gone. Meniscus, gone. I dislocated my leg. It went that way when I was training with the circus, doing what you call smooth rope or cord lease. I obviously should have known because the move that I was practicing was called a suicide dive, and it very nearly killed me. But I have a weak joint in my body. Most people who've done any type of hardcore athletic training have some type of really bad injury that is a weak spot. So when working on developing our heavy club shield cast, I was getting pain inside where that injury and where the scar was. So I am going back and adding training cycles with these two other weights. What I wanted when I was developing these clubs was I wanted them all to be the same length as opposed to changing lengths, so that I can use pretty much the same technique in order to develop our movement over time. Our goal is to get to 100 of these mill preps without putting the weight down. Inside circle, top hand, past opposite ear. Just like barbell, the techniques that you do when you get to really heavy weight changes. If you're deadlifting 500 pounds, you're probably not clean and jerking 500 pounds. Some people in the world are, but not everybody is. It's a lot of training to get that far. I think the same thing is true with heavy clubs. In the beginning, when people start, they have 15 basic exercises: inside circle, inside clean, outside clean, shield cast, gamma cast, squats, all the variations and combinations of those. And then there are about 56 other variations that people learn with light weights in order to make sure their body is moving every direction very well. The goal is to train your body for rotation. The better you get at that, the stronger your spine gets, the more likely you are to survive going up with really heavy weight. Just like everything else, practice all of the breakdown exercises to build up to your max load. The technique that I am using is top hand past opposite ear, shoulder moves towards the club, rotate using your whole trunk, beginning and ending with the legs. This is not an arm exercise, the same way a barbell clean and jerk is not an arm exercise. We are starting and stopping everything with the legs and the core. A little rough on that first rep. When you start lifting this heavy, think about it like barbell. Once again, the reps are low, 3 to 5, and then really long breaks, 3-minute breaks. The way I'm setting this up is 10 rounds of 3 minutes, so it's exactly 30 minutes. And we're just gonna be working on basic movements in that amount of time. And we just have a multi-month schedule, which adds up to a multi-year schedule. These are the 5 clubs I have currently, but these clubs go up to 115 pounds. Once again, the goal of going higher above 100 pounds is to make 80 pounds even lighter. The reason that we're using 80 pounds as our target is because it's something that gets tossed around in the heavy club world over and over and over again. There was a guy named the Great Gamma. He was a famous wrestler, reported to have fought 5,000 matches and he had an 80-pound club that he did shield cast or gamma cast, alternating shield cast with 1,000 reps every day. If you could do that and you were doing 20 reps a minute, it would take you a very, very long time. To get that fast and that strong would be a lifetime achievement. So we're just trying to get there for 100 reps. But the heavier we go with our max weight, the lighter the 80-pound gets, the more doable it gets. Most people will never go above 50 pounds, and that's fine. Getting up into these super heavy weights is just something you do after many years. I've been swinging heavy clubs for 15 years, so this is a goal that I have now because it's fun. Why not? You can think of this as powerlifting for rotational movement patterns, for throwing patterns. Most people getting to 25 pounds will change their life forever. Getting to 50 pounds will alter their skeleton, the way they breathe, the way they move forever. It will change the way that they do all sports. Getting up into the 80-pound range is just pushing it further and further and further. The same way barbell gets pushed further and further and further every year, and guys lift heavier and heavier weights. They make equipment which allows them to lift heavier, and we keep pushing the limits of what the human body can do. This is not something that has been done much in our version of the modern world. Heavy club swinging is still done all over the world, but it's really hard to get the equipment here in North America. So, problem is now solved. Now you can start with a lightweight, use an 8X Mason club, build your way up to 50 pounds, and then you can get into these monster clubs from Great Lakes Shira. We're all kind of chasing that heavyweight, about 115 pounds for, 20 sets of 5. Life is long. You might as well do things that are fun and make you stronger and move better forever.